Hey guys, it's Grant Balfour here, ex-pitcher of the Tampa Bay Rays, Oakland Athletics, Minnesota Twins, Milwaukee Brewers, Cincinnati Reds. I just wanted to say you're watching Matty C's Sports for You and Me podcast. Enjoy the show. Matty's got a lot of great things to talk about, wide range of sports. Get on there. Hope to see you guys soon on the show. All right, guys. Take care.
On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch.
Coming in at 320 kilobytes per second, it's time for Matty C's Sports for You and Me.
All right, everybody. Matty C Sports for You and Me. I got a very special guest, the triple threat number one in the United States, the Northeast, the Massachusetts, everything. Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. What's up, brother? How you doing today?
Fantastic. Happy to be here. How are you, Matt?
I'm wonderful. I'm glad I'm pretty much talking to everybody from the Cage Titans family, the OGs and the newcomers. So it's an awesome thing. But yeah, so you just have a portfolio of who you fought. You've had some people that aren't too friendly, where I see from your posts, you're not a mean guy whatsoever, unless somebody provokes you.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it depends. I like psychological warfare, if you want to call it that. Maybe a strong terminology, but basically that's what it is. So yeah, sometimes I like to maybe shit talk and poke the bear a little bit when I think that it might get under people's skin, cause them to fight differently than they would normally fight. So yeah, I'm pretty laid back and cool, and I think everything is one, and God is everything. So I respect my fellow man and my fellow fighters. But yeah, ultimately it's a game that we're playing in there, and I'm looking to win the game. So I'm always trying to tilt things into my favor. And yeah, sometimes shit talking is how I like to do that. So it varies. Everybody gets a different cupcakes,
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I've been following what you've done in Cage Titans, Bellator, and things like that. And you're humble, and when you get in that cage, you're just an animal in there. So what got you started in all this?
MMA got started for kind of various different reasons, dealing with mental health issues kind of being one of the things that kind of was like a spark to start training. So like bipolar depression, anxiety, things like that kind of pushed me in the direction of needing an outlet of sorts. And then it just being a competitive human being, I played sports, regular, ball sports and hockey and things growing up. And yeah, getting older at the time, out of high school and things, I didn't have like a real outlet for competitive, high level competing, at least. So mixed martial arts was like a perfect blend of things, and it happened to be kind of gaining in popularity. Yeah, I remember watching the Ultimate Fighter 1 when Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner were fighting, and it was like I was one of the people that somebody called me or something in the middle of it, and I turned it on, and it was kind of like a realization of oh, this stuff is like normal, or mainstream, I guess is probably like the way that I was looking at it. So I was like, I have to do that. I have to. And started training at a small local gym and graduated ultimately.
Very much.
Mhm.
But you fought Richie, you fought Bruno, and just a bunch of people, and your big fight in Brazil with Ari. How do you pronounce his last name?
Yeah,
Farias.
Farias. Yeah,
Yeah,
Farias.
and actually, you fought Bruno grappling and just regular match. So, and then you just won against Aaron Lacey, who is a good fighter in his own, of course. But you hear like Cage Titans is like it's either a home for somebody or it's a stepping stone. But like the people there are just unbelievable. Like me, I would come in there and I would have no idea that people were like, "Oh, hey, what's up? What's going on?" And I'm like, "You remember me?" Like it's just a cool place to be, and I really
Mhm.
respect the Cage Titans family because it is a family. Like everybody says what's up to each other, and I talk with a lot of people, like Peter, of course, and then Lionel, and I've seen Joe Giannetti in there. Obviously you I finally just met. But like,
Yes, sir.
what do you feel like? How do you feel about Cage Titans?
It's my like home away from home for real. So one of the reasons that I even got to training at South Shore Sport Fighting was because Mike Pulver was there training and was yeah, he was going to be fighting, and almost brought me in to try to like train with him a little bit to get ready for his fights at that time and before I even fought. So I mean, it goes like all the way back for me, really. Like this, the beginning of my career is with Mike Pulver. I mean, he has just always been one of the closest people that I have since then. So it's just awesome to have that. And then yeah, to be, I mean, I've done so much. I mean, when I walk in that door, I like hug the head of security. The people who, run the, or like take down the cage and stuff. I'm like, for good friends with these people. It's yeah, it's really special to me that, and then to see it grow into what it has. I've done in cage interviews with fighters. I've obviously fought. I mean, I've been a belt holder for them. Yeah, I've done everything really in my career with Cage Titans, and it wouldn't be the same without Cage Titans. I need Cage Titans in my life, really, in a lot of ways. So I look forward every single time that there's an event, whether I'm fighting or not. I sit cage side. I mean, I was looking at pictures the other day, and my girlfriend who takes the photos is like zooming in on the photos, and I'm cage side, like peering into the cage, like a little kid or something. And I'm like 34 years old at the time. It's just wild. And I'm just yeah, so blessed to have Cage Titans be what it is, and I'm happy to help it, continue to grow. So whatever role that they need me, I was happy to jump in and fight Aaron Lacey on short notice, and sort of save the card in a way. So it was amazing to be able to do that for them and for myself. So yeah, Cage Titans, I cannot speak highly enough about it, both fighting for them, viewing the fights as a spectator, and then also working for them however you could or do. I suggest that anyone interested should do one of, if not all of those things for sure, because yeah, it's a great place to be, work, and fight for.
It is like me. I've had let's see, 3 experiences now, and I got the tags with me back here, and it's like to have that for me is awesome, like. And then my other question is, have you ever seen Mike at a show ever not move?
No, no,
Never,
no,
never
very
sit,
rarely.
never sit down.
moments he might sit and or like stand rather and like view the first 10 seconds of a fight, or he might look into the cage for a few moments in order to gauge like where they're at as far as time is concerned, because he's always hustling and doing stuff. It's wild, and yeah, it's just who he is and how he does things. He jumps right in and just like takes things by the horn and knows kind of how to strategize, and he's just a business savvy guy who then has a passion for MMA, and in like a Gary Vaynerchuk kind of way is just like brilliant with it. So yeah, everybody around him loves to kind of soak in some of his aura or what have you, and everyone's always kind of trying to take a little bit of what he does, but it's hard to recreate fucking Mike Bovair. I'll tell you what. He's
Yeah,
good at what he
no,
does.
not yeah. And he fucking, he's like, you want a water? You want a soda? I'm like, I think you need a water, man. You just don't stop, bro.
Monster, dude. That's all. Yeah, he's got like an IV of Monster.
But I know and I said that to him. I said, "You got any more?" He said, "Fuck no, I only got it for me, dude. Only got it for
Yeah,
me."
yeah.
But
That's awesome.
for me, he sets up. He's like, "You need a table. You need this. You need that." I said, "Mike, I just need a table, and that's it." And he says, "All right." And
Not
he doesn't
surprised.
usually he usually doesn't have like the losers come in like in the interview room, but like
Yeah,
sometimes I like to talk to those people, like
yeah, yeah.
I've become cool with some of these people, like, and and it's biased, but at the same time these people, are good people. As in like yourself, like I was like, I heard Johnny Cupcakes is a good dude, and he's like, you're like the poster child for Cage Titans, like I told you, and Peter and many other people.
Mm.
So you fought out of everything else too. I mean, you fought CES with the Birchfields are there. I've met them a couple times. I've interviewed there, and that's another stepping stone place. I mean, from Cage Titans to anywhere else, is this pretty much your home, Cage Titans?
Yeah, pretty much as far as that, for sure. Like I just love Cage Titans. I love fighting for them, and yeah, of course, I would consider them my home. So yeah, the goal has always been to move on to like higher like or larger, I guess, organizations as far as Bellator, which I did, and UFC would still be fantastic to be able to do that. But Cage Titans always going to be my home. I mean, legit, it's in like my hometown is of Plymouth or the area. So, I mean, it's like in more ways than one. It's literally my home in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I will always be with them and they consider them my home. So, but they're a phenomenal place to do that, to move on. I mean, they've moved several a fighter onto the UFC right out of Cage Titans. Happens every season. It happens. So, yeah, and I'm still being 35, having nearly 40 pro fights. I'm still stepping in on short notice and beating guys who are coming up the ranks, and then starching them in a lot of ways. So I still aspire or to be one of those guys who is in the UFC fighting out of the Cage Titans, and being able to say that it's my home. So yeah, for sure, my home.
And a lot of people were canceling on you, bro. I think they were scared of you.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, in a lot of ways, especially after that Corrales win. Like people see my ear get launched off my fucking head down in Brazil, and
Oh
they're
my
like, "Oh
God.
God, this dude is like a kind of a savage. He's willing to fight without his ear." And and then to come back in my next fucking fight, I take on a fight that everyone says I'm gonna get smashed in. And then depending on how you look at it, I kind of beat the shit out of Henry Corrales. And yeah, and so yeah, for a little while there, people were like, "Oh damn, how do we even handle that guy? He's a fucking maniac." And then I took a short notice fight against Levi Moles, who Levi is just a stud at what he does, and I came in flat-footed and had just a bad performance. And I think it kind of removed some of that like mystique. People were like, oh, all right, yeah, there are easy ways to beat him. But yeah, that was just a bad night. And I proved that against Aaron Lacey, who, again, coming up on a short notice, going up in weight. People were like, oh, yeah, you can. Cupcakes can win, but no, everyone was expecting me to get beat that fight, like, and just continue on in my career and just to keep on taking short notice fights that are hard to win. But I knew from the get-go I was going to be able to beat Aaron Lacey. So, and I feel like I did it in a way that people were like, oh shit, this dude is fucking hard to deal with. So it may not be the easiest thing to find fights net coming up, but I do believe that, as soon as I heal my hand up, because my thumb is broken at the moment, but I get this off in about a week and a half. And then I'm going to be just back at it. And I have, many fights to go. And I look forward to, I'm just putting on incredible performances against tough guys, and Cage Titans is a great place to do it. So we'll see what's next.
And I mean, it's so confusing. Like, I think Cage Titans hypes it up so much that, the next card, it's like they're putting stories about this person. Oh. So you're like, is he gonna fucking fight? Like, is she gonna fight? Is somebody like? It's like Mike and the crew, whoever does like the social media, are just like, maybe you'll see this person, maybe you'll see that person,
Yeah. I know that this next one is going to be huge. I mean, so many, you want to say names or what have you. I mean, people that people know. I'm just texting crazy, people top to bottom.
I'm texting people and they just go, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, give me some shit. Like, let me know.
Yeah.
I
know there's a lot of that.
I don't want to wait for Andy and Mike to be sitting at Coops. I want to know.
Yeah. I know. It's gotten to that point. It's amazing the way that there is a story. And I mean, some of it's the fighters too, like right on the fly, or guys like the Party. He just creates a certain buzz and hype and whatnot on his own, and a story. So that's what's fucking beautiful about it, is that Cage Titans legit is like telling somewhat of a story in a very interesting way, almost professional wrestling like, but obviously UFC and MMA related. It's real life competition that's happening here, but it's become like an amazing thing. So to be able to main event that shit last time, I mean, it was legit an honor. So Cage Titans is killing it as far as what they're doing. Their product is just not another level. I mean, simply around here, it's on another level.
And the greatest thing is it's affordable for a family, or affordable for people to go see legit good fights. Like, it's fucking amazing. Like, and me, I'm lucky I'm media, and Mike Veer, Paul Veer, if you're watching this, get me on the media June 4th. I need to be at that. Yeah. So, so you're not fighting 53, right? You're with your thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. I'll be out of a cast at that point, so I'll probably be trying to get myself in on either in-cage interviews would be great. I love that, or some kind of commentary or something. So I'll be cage side in some way watching those fights, and dude, that's some of the most entertaining stuff that you can do. Even people or someone who, whatever it is that they may like, going out to movies or going to live music or hanging out at a bar, whatever it is. Like, Cage Titans is all of that out in one package, and for whatever the price is of admission, it's very well worth it. So, speaking from someone with experience, I know that it's just like lit in there every single time. The energy is amazing. The fights are some of the best fights you can see. I mean, some of my favorite fights of all time, people are like, oh, what are your top 10 fights? They're thinking like, UFC fights and things. And I mean, dudes, there are some insane fights that would be on my list, and they're from Cage Titans. So yeah, some of the best fights possible happen in that cage. So I love it.
I loved Cage Titans 50 because it was there. That was a pretty stacked card. It went from amateur in the morning, afternoon-ish, and then give it an hour or two, and then it was the pro fights. And I was like, oh shit, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
it was a long day, but it was good, man. And
Yeah.
everybody was there. Lionel was fighting. Joe, actually, that was the fight, right? Joe and Lionel fought that card, right? Or was that 51? I can't remember.
I know. I'd have to. No, because 50, I think, was.
No,
Good question.
Lionel fought Rodriguez, and Penafiel fought Bruno. And
yeah, okay.
Peter fought
Higo.
Higa, from Hawaii or wherever. Did you fight on that card? I don't remember if you fought on that card.
No, I was chilling cage side and enjoying myself. That was an amazing night of fights. You know, Bruno and the party going at it. That was a great fight. And then, Lionel looking like an unstoppable killing machine against Rodriguez. That was a great fight too. So, good night. Good night of fights. I was cage side.
I was in the corner, and then I was in the interview room. So that was a tough interview night. But but like you said, Johnny, I mean, like, you go there and like everybody's a family. Like, I met so many people at Cage Titans, and it's like, I don't really care if like you just stay here or you go farther. Like, for example, Billy Goff, he started in there, and then now he's got 2 belts in CES, and he's like, where's my UFC pass now?
I know. Monster.
So, and for you, like, I already know the story, but like, who was it? That guy on Twitter, Mike, was it Mike Smith Jr. or something? He was the guy who interviewed you about the the fight with Farias.
Yeah.
Like, the way you described it, I was like, oh my God, like, this kid did not give a fuck that his ear was coming off.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't you weren't in shock at that point or anything.
It's just like I don't know if it's like fight or flight or what it is exactly, but I mean, there's a fight of me on YouTube against Matt Doherty at CES where he gets a takedown and my shoulder dislocates, and there was like a moment of like, okay, shit, what happened? Oh, my shoulder, my arm's not working. And then it's kind of like just trying to figure it out then on the fly. Like, there's not a lot of, not that I don't quit, because I mean, there is ways, I'm sure, especially, I mean, I've definitely kind of quit in the gym before. I mean, there's ways, but there's not a lot of quit in me, especially if we're talking like pain or something. Like, pain is not really a big deal to me. So, especially the ear, it was more just like, all right, so what just happened? Because everything happened so fast, and there was just a huge amount of pain on my fucking head. And it was just kind of like, okay, well, there's pain on my head. That punch must have like done something. So I'm just going to keep fighting and we'll figure it out. And there's a dude on my back, and he's a black belt world champion. So I'm kind of concerned about it, and I'm fighting, and there's blood on the ground, and I'm like, shit, did I cut him? I legitimately thought like, oh shit, did I cut him somehow? Is that possible? No. So that's when the ref, stopped the fight. And when he said your ear's hanging off, everything just made so much sense. It was like, all right, because the punch didn't really feel that hard that he landed. So I was kind of confused. I'm like, damn, why'd that fucking hurt so bad? It was just like it wasn't a hard punch. The impact wasn't much. So when he said it, I was like, oh, well, that's why. Okay, my ear. And it was like, shit, okay, I probably can't fucking continue then, I guess, at that point. So yeah, I'm down in Brazil. It was just crazy, being down in Brazil too. Like, I just fucking flew 3 airplane flights down to go to Brazil, to a place that, I mean, shit, I've only fucking seen pictures of and heard stories about. And, I love fighters that are from Brazil. And now I'm there in an arena fighting. And now the fight's only lasted a minute and a half, and my fucking ear's falling off. Oh, man. And I'm walking around Brazil with like a giant fucking thing, like covering my head up. Oh man, it was some Funny shit. Life is good. So yeah, just a crazy experience. And as with any injury like this last with my thumb, same kind of ordeal where I throw a punch and the punch kind of lands funny on his arm and smashes my thumb. And the first kind of thought was, oh yeah, that's right. I break my thumb in this one. It was almost like I had some kind of I already knew in a way, somehow, I don't know. It was like a dream that I was having. And it was like, oh yeah, in this fight, I break my thumb. But there was no like, oh shit, I have to fucking stop, or like someone should look at this, maybe a doctor. It was just like, okay, now I have to take him down, obviously. So I shot in, took him down, and elbowed him and controlled him. And then eventually the doctor stopped it. So it was kind of like, oh joy, I don't have to continue fighting with my thumb. But when I sat down in the fucking corner, my coaches is like, oh yeah, keep throwing that right hand. That right hand's landing. And I'm like, oh no, I can't throw my right hand anymore because my thumb is broken. And they were just like, okay, well, you just have to go take him down. And the thought was just like, all right, I have to just get up off the stool, deal with this thumb for now at least, and take him down for the rest of the fight. And then the doctor stopped it because he's a fucking angel, and I love him. But yeah, it was just injuries or pain or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not like I have shit I want to do as far as accomplish goals and be a certain, whatever it is, world champion, or a certain amount of wins, or having a legacy that people remember my name for. And yeah, pain or something is just not something that's going to kind of stop me. So, I've had times in my life where maybe I let it get the best of me, whatever it may be. Either my head is not in the game, so I don't want to. I don't want to push through, but as far as, especially now in my life and my career, shattering my thumb on someone's head is just going to make me, come a little bit harder, but just in a different way. So, I love doing this. So
I told you were badass, man. So my thing is, the funny thing is with you is that in that interview, you said you had, how many staples did you have in your ear?
So stitches, I had like 20 something. I forget the exact number. It was like 26 or something. They did really good too. They stitched it up fucking good.
And I remember you said it actually improved your cauliflower and all that stuff. Yeah. Did it actually help?
Really did. It really did. Like kind of smooth it out a bit. Yeah, for real. This one in particular was kind of like a weird one where like the actual top of the ear, the way the cauliflower formed, there was almost like a seam in between the ear and the cauliflower. And that's what happened when he punched it. He like caught the cauliflower and just tore it off of the ear. So when they slapped that on and then stitched it like improved it a little bit. So it is what it is. I lube it up a little bit now, not to be weird, but so I shouldn't tell all my secrets, but like as I'm going out to the cage, one of my things is that I wipe a little bit of the grease onto my ear. So whether that's part of the rules or not, it's my grease and I don't put it anywhere else, but I do like smear just a little bit on my ear so that if the punch lands, it just fucking, and I also like to get a little extra sweaty now. I used to not kind of like to get too worked up before a fight, but I just, my cardio is solid. So I just work up a little bit of extra sweat. And then, like I said, I just kind of swipe that ear with some sweat and some goop. And then, the bitch is ready to go. I'm ready to go.
But like, it's basically to defend like, life after fucking, fighting. You don't want to have an ear like, coming off like, a little bit of grease is going to help you out if it's going to help you out.
Definitely.
So, is there anybody you're going to look after, like to go at pretty soon?
Potentially. So we got so many options, I think, right now. So I got so many options. I really like a potential rematch against Levi Moles at 135. I think he's a tough fight. I think he's like right above me in the rankings on Tapology. He's 1. I think I'm 2 at bantamweight. So, and that was just a hard ass weight cut and short notice fight against a dude who is a legit jiu-jitsu guy who was getting ready for a championship fight. So that shit was just a recipe for a tough fight. So I like that one. I mean, I like staying up at 145. And I mean, Henry Corrales, who I beat at 35, a lot of people were claiming that his weight cut was the reason that he didn't win that fight. So I feel comfortable at 145. I would love to see if he wants to mix it up again in Bellator. I think he just signed a new contract with them, so he might be interested in some redemption, which I would most definitely at 45 still beat his ass. So I look forward to maybe making that call out. So yeah, there's definitely people that are in my thoughts. So I will definitely be making formal call outs most likely. Week and a half and the thumb is back to relative normal. I got the pins out and then I'm back to training maybe a week or two after that. So I should be ready to go by summer or early fall. So I'm looking to get back in and just continue to stamp my name in that history book of fighting. 100 years from now, people are going to be looking at fighting and they're going to want to know who did it best. And I really do believe, records aside, I will be considered and remembered as one of the people that did fighting right and knew how to do it at an incredibly high level. And whoever it is that I need to beat up, whether it be Levi or it be Henry Corrales or it is getting the UFC, I do know that I'm going to be able to achieve those things so that I can continue to create a legacy that people can remember my name by, and hopefully make some goddamn money too.
And I mean, in UFC, I mean, there's a lot of people, and I've read many articles. So I'm not a particular person to read articles and buy into it, but it's like they say that, if you got one or two losses in the UFC, you're gone. Like you need to continuously win. And
That's a fact.
and for you, I mean, your fights aren't a joke. Like you hurt people. Like you don't take no mercy. I mean, you got a name like Johnny Cupcakes, which is badass because it's like, like I don't know a lot of people who can have a name like that and fuck shit up, And I
Definitely.
mean, where did you get Johnny? Where did you get Johnny Cupcakes from?
Dude, someone in the gym who, I don't even know if he is, I don't know if he's in jail at the moment or not, but
Whoa.
this guy for Freddie at the time, who kind of just like fucking came into our lives in a way and then disappeared. And he's a crazy guy. Yeah, and just whatever reason, sparring with a bunch of little guys one day. And he said, Johnny Cupcakes, he just called me that. And then there was another kid, Mike O'Connell. These are the two people I'll give credit to. He was like a younger kid and kind of looking to kind of get his, himself in the pecking order kind of thing. And he took Johnny Cupcakes and he kind of ran with that and branded me Johnny Cupcakes. And then everybody else kind of liked it. And I went out to my first fight against, Theo Desjardins up in fucking Vermont, I believe it was, or New Hampshire. And I'm just walking out trying to be a badass. And they fucking announced me as Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. And then I knocked him out in like 56 seconds. And that was it. I was Johnny Cupcakes Campbell for the rest of my life, basically. But I fucking love it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Everybody, as far as friends, family, fans, everybody digs it. I think it's good to kind of look at life lightheartedly, and some people want to be Johnny Killer Campbell, and I just fuck that shit. I just I think that everybody should be happy with who they are, and I'm fucking Cupcakes. So and yeah, I dig it, and I want everyone to be comfortable who they are. Doesn't matter who you are, what color, what fucking creed, that shit doesn't matter at all. We're all human beings. Everybody is one. We're all just trying to figure out what the hell we're doing here. And I think that, if Cupcakes brings a little bit of joy in some way to people's lives, that's great. Plus, when, you're in there smashing people and your name is Cupcakes, like you said, it just adds a little bit of something. There's something magical about that, about a Cupcakes who can have, his ear ripped off and keep fighting. Like, that dude is, kind of fucking crazy. So I like that too. It's good. The good kind of crazy.
It is. That was like, that was just an added story. I didn't know about it until recently when I was checking it out. I'm like, bro, there's no skin, there's no ear. It's like just a line.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is like Reservoir Dogs type of shit. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I know that movie fucking freaks me out.
But what's next for Johnny Cupcakes, man? I mean, what else are you looking to do? Is this something that's going to continue until you can't break anything or hurt anything anymore?
Pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. I feel like, at 35, I don't know what you want to call it, late bloomer, or I don't know. I was just, for the longest time, for most of my fucking even adult life, there was not a lot of points where I was like a man as far as my body and my mind was concerned. I mean, into my mid 20s, I just was sort of a boy in so many fucking ways. I fought a lot of fights that way, just not really a fucking man yet. And I feel like at 35, I'm peaking. I feel like I'm someone who maybe isn't going to peak until I'm 37, and I might have 10, 20 fights left, maybe more. It's hard to say. These weight cuts suck a little bit, but that's just life. So as far as the mental aspect is, I kind of have an understanding about that physical mental transition or connection that a lot of these fighters, young, especially young, just don't get. They think like, oh, I'm just go in and fight and then continue forward, but there's so much mental that it gets in between that you have to deal with. And I've had so much practice at that. 14 losses, and I've learned so much from every one of them that I would not trade one of them for any number of wins, I wouldn't. So whether or not I'm able to achieve, say, something like the UFC, if say 14 losses is going to stop me from being able to get to the UFC, then so be it. That's not going to prevent me from continuing to fight and continuing to smash guys. And if I have to, I'll just be the barrier to the UFC for everyone in and around my weight class. Guys like Aaron Lacey, if I don't get to the UFC, I'm just going to have a lot of fun spoiling their ride to the UFC. So whoever's next, whether it be an up and comer like Lacey, that's cool. But I'm looking to just have the biggest fights possible. So that's why I really like maybe calling out Henry Corrales and kind of poking at him and kind of seeing what he's about, because that's going to be a huge fight, a huge rematch in a big promotion like Bellator. And I just feel like I smashed the crap out of him again and then move forward. So, my thing is whatever's next is just the biggest thing, whether it's the biggest name or the biggest check or the biggest promotion. I want big things. So, I'm going to just look to just take the biggest possible fight I have in front of me.
And it's cool that you're very humble and you're you're part of the Cage Titans family, and I feel like I'm welcome there, and that's a really cool thing. And now, do I earn to say what up, Cupcakes? How you doing?
Oh, dude, absolutely, 100%, 100%. I mean, yeah, without a doubt, definitely. Please do.
Are you going to have cool merch coming soon or what?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I do. I'm like very sporadic about it. I might do things and then kind of put it on the shelf, and then, so 100% I will. I mean, I do have some purple shirts right now still available. So purple shirts with the bomb logo I have. So I got to just finish that website so that people can access the merch and, get it get it. So yes, most definitely merch is coming. So especially this big next fight should be the biggest of yet to come. So you will have probably a couple of t-shirts to be selling.
Very cool, man. And that's cool that you told me that, like, you and your is it your wife, right? Or
Girlfriend, soon to be.
Okay.
We'll say wife, soon to be.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. So I mean, like it's cool that you guys work together. I mean, she does the photography and you do you.
Yep.
And that's what's cool. Like, you could interconnect like family legit, and Mike's like, yeah, no problem.
Yep. Happens all the time. Like, whoever it is, everyone, it seems, that's what happens. It's like you start there in a way, and then you kind of just pull people in. People come there once to view the fights as a fan, and then you see them there the next time and they're working at the event, and it's like they legit either fell in love with the whole thing or the vibe or whatever it is, and they just want to be a part of it. And that's what happens sometimes with some of the media or some of the the people involved with the videography and things like that. It's like they'll come in almost just to be a part of it, and then next thing you know, they're like a full-time person there doing whatever it is, either creating their own platform and kind of being with Cage Titans as far as what MMA is concerned, or literally working for Cage Titans. It's amazing. So that's how you get to know people very quickly there, and everyone's very open because they know that everyone's like-minded and the same type of people. So there's no there's no distance. Everyone's just very close.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I mean, everybody helps everybody, and it becomes a mixture of pro wrestling and people knocking motherfucking guys' heads in, and kicks to the knees and all that fun shit. So Johnny, I'll probably see you at 53.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll have something cool go on there, and I'll say hello, Cupcakes, and what's good. Fix that fucking finger.
Yeah. It'll be good to go by then. It should be I should be training by then. So yeah, definitely I'll be good to go, and it'll be an amazing event. I guarantee it. I believe Lionel's going to be mixing it up. I don't want to I shouldn't probably announce anything, but there's just some fights that maybe will blow people's fucking minds as far as I'm concerned, because some real shit's about to happen in the MMA scene, and this fight card is going to be a huge part of it. There's just so many names are going to be mixed up as far as the rankings go, and it's going to be because of this. So everyone should stay very much tuned into the Cage Titans Instagram and their the rest of their social media, because they're leaking stuff constantly, and like you said, they might even be hinting at stuff that you don't even know necessarily. So everyone needs to keep in touch with them.
And that's the thing, that's one of the best things Mike taught me too, is this is the best card ever, it's going to be the best one. He said, nope, there's always another one.
Yep. So dude, that's kind of what happens. They almost build off each other. You're like, oh, this is the biggest one yet, and then the energy carries over to the next one. New stories are freaking created. New fucking literal stars are created. And then bam, the next one somehow is bigger. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, from when I first whatever. So from 50, 51, and Combat Night. Combat Night I was a little irky about, but I was like, oh, all right, so this is a different whole thing. Then I met the grappling guys, and they're cool as shit,
Yeah.
Kind of teaching me this stuff. But yeah, man, Mr. Cupcakes, thank you for joining the show, and I can't wait to see you back, and I want to see you back in the octagon, and take care of that finger, and we'll talk again.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks for watching Matty C's Sports for You and Me. Make sure to follow Matty Cameron on Twitter at MattCameron23, or follow him on Instagram at MattyC23, or subscribe to his YouTube channel, Matty C's Sports for You and Me. Once again, thanks for watching.